Hello, welcome to Count the Bucket. With your host, Zach Cox. Let's get this money.
All right. Welcome back to Count Bucket. This is going to be episode 5, I believe. Not bad, man. We're starting to churn them out one by one. But back with my brother, BK. What up, my brother?
How we doing?
Not much, man. A lot has happened since we talk on the pod. You were not featured on the last pod. I apologize. I brought in college basketball expert Dylan O'Mara for our March Madness preview. You've been enjoying some of the March Madness. Not a lot of madness, but some good games.
Good games, yeah.
Some nail biters. Duke almost losing to Taco Fall. That was a great game.
That's crazy.
But that has not been kind of the biggest news lately. The NBA season is coming to like a slow close. I feel like there's like, obviously we got the award races and some teams are fighting for like playoff battles, but I feel like we're just kind of slowly getting to the playoffs, and like we're at that point in the season where it's like, all right, like let's just get to the playoffs. Like all these guys are ready. Teams are like resting players here and there.
Yeah.
That being said,
there's, what, 8 or 9 games left?
Yeah, there's like a week or two left. There is a lot to still play for, so we can't get that twisted. And obviously, some injuries as of late have kind of shifted things in both conferences, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I want to start off out west with, I believe we talked about it last time we talked, with the Los Angeles Clippers, man. Clinched a playoff spot yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. I don't know when this will go out. Needless to say, they clinched a playoff spot. They are now up to the 5 seed in the Western Conference, which is absolutely unbelievable after trading away I looked it up, 2 of their highest minutes guys in both Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley. They both parted with. So that's pretty amazing. I saw Doc walk into the locker room and he said, Vegas predicted us 33 wins. ESPN, 33 wins. They got 45 wins, and they start going crazy, pop champagne and everything. I want to get your thoughts on this team. I want to get your thoughts on the makeup of how Jerry West kind of put this team together. And I also want to know, does Doc Rivers deserve Coach of the Year? I mean, there's a strong case. They're up to the 5 seed, traded away their best player. A lot of young players are getting huge minutes for them. This has been an unbelievable year for the Clippers. What do you think?
So I'll start with just how I feel about the team in general. I definitely think they're just a really good defensive-minded team that just really plays together. They really they play to each other's strengths. They let Lou Will do his thing. They let Pat Bev do his thing. And then they're up there for maybe top 3 bench in the league too. They got
no doubt.
Arrow and Lou Will could both probably be 6-man of the year candidates.
Yeah.
So they got a good collection of talent. A lot of diverse scoring options. I think Danilo Gallinari is having one of his best seasons of his career.
He's finally staying healthy, luckily,
putting up like 20 a game. As far as how they're doing the playoffs, I don't really see them causing any problems for anyone. I think they'll be a tough series.
I think it'll be a very tough series, yeah.
Yeah, they'll take people 6 or 7 games, but I don't see them closing anyone out.
I will say, sorry, don't mean to cut you off. I will say that we can talk about Nurkic's injury a little bit later, but now Portland, they're sitting at 3 right now, but they could easily drop to 4. Houston could jump them. That's a series, man. If it's Portland Clippers, I like Clippers very confidently, obviously. So,
I'm not sure the Nurkic injury is that huge of a blow.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, he was doing really good for them, having his best season of all time, but they just picked up cancer.
That is true, yeah.
It's a pretty good backup, and it's a pretty similar game to Nurkic, so
yeah,
that's a pretty good second.
I was just throwing that out there. But to your point about the Clippers, I think what's most impressed me with Doc, and I don't know if it's attributed to Doc directly or if it's more like Pat Bev and Lou Will and their kind of leadership style, but like you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Landry Shamet playing a lot of minutes, and Zubac as guards and young players in this league, and they're out there really affecting the game in like a very positive way, whether it be on defense or shooting the ball. Like Landry Shamet, man, he's like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league right now, at least catch and shoot. I mean, you can't leave that dude open for a split second. So
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with the personnel that they brought together. I also think that I feel like this is just like a perfect team for Doc to coach. Like I
I agree.
never really loved. Obviously, he had so much talent before they traded away CP3 and Blake Griffin and let DeAndre go. But I always felt like it was just too much for Doc, and he was better when he was like coaching just the guys that are gritty and are
hmm
coachable. You know,
Well,
CP3
I
not very
think, yeah,
coachable.
I think him and
Blake,
CP just kind of butted heads a lot.
exactly. Blake hasn't been super coachable, although he's probably, I haven't heard anything like terrible about it. I'm sure he's very coachable, but like I just think with the right guys, and you've seen it with Brad Stevens too with the Celtics. I feel like with the right guys, sometimes you just find a team that just clicks and they just play incredible help defense together. Their offense is fluid. They know everybody's role. They know
hmm
if Lou Will gets hot, man. I think they're in any game if Lou Will's hot.
Yeah, I agree. To be fair, though, as much as I love Lou Will, he's one of my favorite players. He can't be your main scoring option in the playoffs. 6'1" guys just don't thrive in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think he could be your main scoring, but he's super clutch in the fourth quarter. If you
Oh,
need a
absolutely.
bucket, I'm confident going to him. But
That's true.
but to your point, like you did say, it will be very easy to neutralize their one guy,
Yeah.
which might need Gallo to step up or somebody
Yep.
like that. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be if it ends up being Portland. If it's Houston, I think that'll be a 5-6 game series, maybe 6 at most. But if it's Portland, I think that could go 6 or 7. It could be competitive, and you never know. They might win a playoff series. Did you like that they celebrated with champagne?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it just kind
Let
of
him
seems
celebrate.
like I saw Steven Jackson on the jump, and he was like, "I didn't know we're popping champagne to make it in the playoffs." Like, I think we usually save that for the end one. And Rachel Nichols was like, "Oh, not everybody's got a ring like you, Steven Jackson." I'm like,
Honestly,
man,
I think there's
nobody
such a
holds
young
on
team.
to one ring more than Steven Jackson does.
Oh yeah, that's true. Never was an all-star, but I
But
did.
yeah. But that being said, man, Clippers have Doc Rivers better be like top 3 Coach of the Year candidate. There should be no excuse. I'm not saying he should win Coach of the Year, but
hmm
he will definitely get a lot of votes.
Yeah, I'd say in regards to that, he's definitely top three, if not the definitive number two. But I feel like it's Budenholzer's award this year.
Oh,
I
of
don't,
course, it'll be
I don't.
Budenholzer or Malone. I feel like either
Yeah,
either
Malone too.
both coaches obviously justifiably deserve it. But for the other team in LA, who it's funny, Vegas predicted the Clippers to have 33 wins, and guess how many wins the Lakers have currently?
So they have 33.
33.
Of
And as we speak, they're losing to the Jazz, but no LeBron James. That's okay. But
course, management.
yeah, man, it's just been kind of like obviously we've talked about the Lakers a lot. They're going to generate a lot of attention. Ingram and Lonzo are shut down for the rest of the year.
hmm
Um, one thing I want to say, people out there that think LeBron is like done being the guy he is, like we need to relax. And I know my boy Nick Wright is probably be saying the same things. The man still averaged 27, 8, and 8 this year.
Yeah,
He did not have a bad year by
no,
any means. You could say whatever you want about his body language, about his leadership off the court, yada, yada, yada. The man is still a machine in his 16th season.
oh
So
yeah,
we just got to pump the brakes on him not being a top 5 player. I know the media's got to find a lot of crap to talk about, but him not being a top 5 player in the league, or
that's
I'm sorry,
absurd.
I don't know if you saw Colin Cowherd's
Oh my
segment
God,
today about
I saw that.
trading LeBron for Zion.
Yeah, it's
I
funny.
mean, whatever
Cowherd
he's
has
smoking, I want it, bro.
he has he has taken a full 180 on LeBron this year. It's very interesting to watch. Once his
I think
boy
it's
isn't doing
yeah.
good.
He was so excited when he came to LA. Oh, I'm gonna be able to talk about it. And, it's kind of his job, but like, dude, use your head, bro.
Yeah, Cowherd has been killing the
That
game.
was absurd. Like I mentioned, Ingram and Zoe are shut down.
hmm
Kuzma is looking okay. He's looking exactly how we thought. Now comes the question: who's going to be the next coach for this team? Because I think that's going to be more important than a lot of people are making it out to be.
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't necessarily need to be coached, but he needs the right coach to succeed, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense whatsoever.
No, that
He
makes
got
sense.
to the finals with David Blatt. He
hmm
took Mike Brown to the finals. But when he had a good coach like Spoelstra, and when he had, as much as I don't think he's a great coach, Ty Lue, they succeeded. And
hmm
I don't know if that does something for LeBron mentally to know his coach has got his back and he can kind of respect his judgment on certain things.
hmm
A lot of names being thrown out there: J Kidd, Ty Lue. who do you want, and I guess ultimately who do you expect to get the job?
All right. Well, today I heard some insane rumor that they're interested in
Yeah,
Rick
that was
Carlisle.
popping around. There's no way he's leaving.
There's no way he's leaving. He's never left the Mavs, even when they're bad.
Yeah.
I'm dismissing.
And they just got Porzingis. He's like, nah.
Yeah, come on. The
Yeah.
things he's thinking about.
Yeah, that's a wild rumor.
Honestly,
Do you like the J Kid rumors?
I like J Kidd just for the fact that he would know how to coach Lonzo and he can give him a lot of pointers. I don't know if I respect his coaching ability yet.
Yeah.
And I do know, however, he would fit in with Magic, with LeBron, former players.
Yeah.
So maybe he could be a better version of Ty Lue in that regard, where he would just be a good locker room guy, good enough sets to keep the team running, and LeBron loves him. But I don't know. So ultimately, I think T. Lue's going to end up with the job. That just kind of seems like how it's going. But I would like them to take a chance. Go with J Kidd.
Yeah.
See what he's got. He said he had a year off. I heard him talk on ESPN about the new job. He said he took a year off, watched the AAU circuit, try to figure out the new game. So I would trust him as a player just for the fact that he was a point guard for so long. So I would love to see J Kidd there.
Yeah, I think J Kidd. I think he got a bad rap in Milwaukee. You know, Giannis was not nearly the player that he was when, but he was showing signs of improvement. I think I saw a stat when J Kidd took over as Bucks coach the year before and the year that Giannis was coached by Kidd. Giannis had like his biggest improvement in terms of statistics. So he was starting to refine Giannis's game.
That's probably his biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, no doubt. But he didn't have enough time there. You know, they were kind of too quick. They got Budenholzer in. I get it. He's a very good coach for that system or whatever. They had that one dude, the interim guy, fill in for a little bit.
You know what it's kind of similar to?
What?
It's kind of similar to the Mark Jackson Warrior situation.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Which you threw that name out there. I wouldn't mind if he got an interview.
No,
Mark Jackson.
I wouldn't at all.
I would not mind at all. I still think if Luke Walton gets fired, they'll interview Brian Shaw as well. I don't want the Ty Lue thing. I don't think that he would mesh. Maybe
players like him somehow.
I know they like him. He was a former player, but I just feel like he just kind of be a puppet. And I feel like in the West, I really think LeBron is going to need some coaching in his late years. Not necessarily for LeBron himself, but if he's going to have Lonzo and Kuzma around him or other young players, then I think it might help. I don't know about J Kidd. I don't know. In my eyes, for the Lakers right now, they need a change, first and foremost. So just get Luke out of there, and then I'll be happy, and then we can talk about, like, you know, who fits well with the personnel. The team could look, you know, completely different from this year to next year. You know, we have no idea how the summer could go. Magic could be super aggressive in the draft, which I hope he does.
I hope he does too.
So we'll see. But one of the guys on the Lakers has been in the news recently. Lonzo Ball and the Big Baller brand have gotten in a little bit of a legal trouble with, I believe it's the term that they use for him is his business partner. I want to say his name is like Alan Foster or something like that. I've seen him on the TV shows a lot. Apparently, super smart businessman. Was very helpful with LeVar and Lonzo to build his brand. But turns out he was kind of stealing half the profits behind everybody's back and like pocketed more than like $1.5 million in cash. So Big Baller brand is no longer. They folded. Just do it. What are we thinking here for Lonzo? You think he's joining Nike?
Well, first of all, I love the move by Lonzo. Just kind of cutting ties with Big Baller brand, kind of becoming his own guy. I love to see that. Just like a more mature person in general. But
literally, that's what LeBron said, right? He's like, I love how he's cutting this shit out. Like, pardon my French. He's like, I like how he's handling it. He's handling it like a man. I was like, okay, LeBron.
But let's be real here. Your idol was LeBron growing up. You're on LeBron's team. You go out and eat with LeBron whenever you want. He's gonna sign with Nike.
Yeah, no question.
LeBron's the biggest spokesperson of Nike of all time.
No question. You don't think he'll be in the meeting?
And stuff. He's already got Kuzma hooked up, and they're boys. I think it's a done deal already.
Yeah, people are kind of bashing Lonzo, like, oh, why did you even start your own brand? Blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't mind it. Like he made his own brand. He's one of the most popular players in the NBA, even though he's not even an all-star. And this is kind of used as like a freaking what's the word I'm looking for? Like a chip, in a big poker game. He can say to Adidas and Under Armour, he can be like, look, I was making this much as my own brand. You better offer me at least this much, or I'm going to Nike because I know they're gonna offer me a fat deal.
It's true.
So I think it worked perfectly for him. And now, like you said, he can join Nike and be with Kuz and AD and LeBron when they all get there to LA.
Brand Ingram's kind of
But no, he covered up the big baller brand tattoo. It's obviously probably a tricky situation, and LeVar Ball is probably like, dude, what the hell, man? Like, I trusted you with my business, with my family. Like that's kind of a shitty thing to happen. But hey, man, that's life. That dude was trying to make moves, and he'll probably pay the price for it. But
oh yeah.
So that's enough on the LA side. We'll stay out west though. We mentioned it earlier. You just pray for him, man, because you hate to see it. But that was a gruesome injury that Nurkic suffered a couple days back. He was having a great year, was staying relatively healthy. This Portland team was playing as good as any team in the West. Yeah, this hurts, man. I know you said they got Cantor, but I don't think he's nearly the defender that Nurkic is. He could still give you a double-double every night, but this is obviously a huge blow for Portland. I mean, anything else you want to comment on that? It just sucks.
Well, first of all, the irony of him putting up his career high the same night that happens.
Yeah.
It's awful. I feel so bad for him for that.
Yeah.
And it was starting to feel like he was the missing piece on that Trailblazers team because they've always had the guard play. They just needed that one other scoring option.
They needed an enforcer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I would have loved Cantor off the bench. That's his perfect role.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Feels like the Blazers have an unfortunate injury every year, so we'll see how they do.
Yeah, luckily I really trust that coach. Terry Stotts is a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
They're deep enough, like you said, with the Cantor signing, where it won't hurt too much. Zach Collins, he's gonna have to step up. Myers Leonard's gonna have to step up. Al Farouk's gonna have to step there. Everybody has to step up. Yeah, I know they had big aspirations with Nurkic, so it just sucks, man. I hope maybe they get a 3-6 matchup with Utah or someone like that, or San Antonio, because if they go up against the Rockets or the Clippers first round, I think it'll be a tough series. But yeah, you hate to see it. Thoughts out to Nurkic and his whole family and everything. I'm sure he'll recover, strong like a lot of these players have been lately. Mm-hmm. I saw a clip too, because Nurkic is Bosnian or Bosnian Herzegovina, whatever the heck the full name is, and at a Bosnian national game for soccer, the entire crowd was chanting his name and like prayers out to Nurkic, like a whole song. So that was awesome to see. But yeah, that stinks. Hopefully he'll recover. We'll stick out west too for one more team. Oklahoma City Thunder, man. What's going on? They had a nice win tonight, but the struggles have been real for this team. Is there any explanation?
Might just be season fatigue. Kind of just resting up, looking towards the postseason.
Yeah.
I know a lot of teams probably ramp up their training a little bit before the season ends, so maybe they're going into games tired. I don't know. I still feel pretty confident for them in the playoffs. I think they're a team that's built for the playoffs.
I hope so,
so I think you just got to wait and see.
Yeah. I saw a couple interesting statistics today about just their recent 6 or 7 games. They've only won one game. Obviously, every team goes through little lulls, especially towards the end of the season like this. But they rank, I think, second to last in assists, which you never like to see. So they got to get the ball moving again. And part of it, man, is on Westbrook, dude. He just cannot shoot jump shots right now. I have a percentage, 25% on jumpers. That's the worst in the league. It's just, I don't know if it's mental or if he's just forcing it, but he's just got to take a step back, breathe, reset before the playoffs, because they're going to need him to be the Russ of old if they want any chance at a run here, man. Because PG is going to give you what PG has been doing all year.
He's been steady the whole season.
Which has been being an MVP candidate, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's a couple of the other guys got to step up too. Jeremy Grant, Terrence Ferguson, they got to be able to shoot the ball. Schroeder's been playing very well this year. I'm a little nervous with this team. They seem like a team that could kind of be looking ahead in the first round, like they did kind of last year.
Listen, after last year, it's unexcusable if they do that.
That's what I'm saying. So I think right now they're the 7 seed, and I would not want to face Denver right now in a 7-game series. I would stay far away from that if I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder. So hopefully they can get it together, maybe go on a little bit of run to end the season. I can tell you one thing. They do not want to be in the 7 seed area. They want to be in the 6 or even get up to 5 if they can. There's still a lot to play for from seeds 5 through 8. There's only 2 games separating them, so they could easily swap out. But it looks like the Jazz, the Thunder, and the Spurs will all make the playoffs. Kings, it was a good story. So close yet so far. Give me your thoughts real quick on that young Sacramento team.
First of all, they're one of the funnest teams to watch in the league. Super
one of the best league pass teams, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. But yeah, this season's great experience. Fox had a great season. He's probably a most improved candidate. They'll be back next year. Buddy Hield, same thing.
Yep.
They'll have a full off season. They kind of know their games now, and they'll be back even better next year. They should probably be a playoff contender next year. That's what I think.
Yeah, no doubt. And with an extra, I think, depending on where they finish, I think they have to give their pick to Boston. Is that so? Or it's either this year or next year they have to forfeit their pick depending on where they finish, but I'm not entirely sure.
Boston's got picks everywhere, so
yeah, they might have like 4 first-round picks. It's insane. They're gonna get Memphis's pick, which is gonna be very high, so that's scary. Anyway, though, we'll move to a very entertaining game that happened, I believe, 2 nights ago. I can't even remember now, but
last night.
Was it last night? Holy crap! Rockets and the Bucks, 2 MVP candidates. I don't know if you saw the picture of PJ Tucker walking in with his T-shirt, said "I'm with the MVP," and he was walking in right next to the Beard, James Harden. And then the Bucks, they took that picture. They photoshopped their MVP right next to PJ and said MVP on the Twitter account. So that was pretty funny. Giannis obviously outplayed Harden. Harden didn't have his best game. Where are you standing on this MVP race? It seems like a 2-horse race now.
Man, this is tough.
I know we've talked about it, but now it's like definitive. It's right here, you know.
Yeah. I still side with Giannis.
Yeah.
Just because he's just such a complete player and just affects the game on so many different levels. But it's so hard to deny a person leading their team to a 3 seed who's averaging 37 a game.
At least 8 games with at least 50 points this year for Harden.
It's just a scoring.
Real. Yeah.
I hate to do it to him, but it's just Giannis is having a Shaq-like season.
Yeah.
So I got to give it to Giannis. I'm a little biased because that's my boy. I've been predicting this since day one. But yeah, I'm giving it to Giannis.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
Wouldn't
been Giannis.
Harden got it either.
Yeah, no, of course not. It's been Giannis's award this whole season, which I'm sure has been, motivating him and motivating Harden at least to try and catch up. But there's like, I saw a stat. It was like if Harden's average through 3 quarters this season would be second in the scoring race.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. The gap between the highest score and the second is like 8 or 9 points per game. I mean, that's unheard of in a scoring title race, at least.
Yeah,
I think besides the Wilt days, one of the highest averages we've seen is like Kobe and Michael, and they average like 35 and 36 per game. I mean, Harden's gonna beat that, man. 37 a game.
I'm gonna be honest with you for a second. If Harden was averaging, now injuries obviously affect this, but this is probably why he had such a great scoring season, because of the injuries. But if he was averaging like 28, 29 with 10 assists, like 5 rebounds, and his team was the 1 or 2 seed, I'd probably give it to him.
Yeah,
and if he's playing the defense he's playing right now, because the only problem with what I'm seeing from him is the style of play he's playing. I don't know. Even Kobe said it. That's not really what wins championships.
Not sustainable, yeah.
Right. So stats are awesome and it's extremely impressive, but playing within the system is sometimes more impressive when you can still excel. You know what I mean? Like if I see the Rockets win by like 10 and Harden has 28, as opposed to them winning by 2 and he has like 50, like that's more impressive for a team perspective, that you're winning a game when Harden's only scoring 28. You know what I mean? It's more a complete team effort.
Yeah, so I'll ask you this. If we took Giannis off the Bucks and we took Harden off the Rockets, who would be the better team?
That's tough.
Let's saying both teams are healthy. If both teams are healthy, I would say the Rockets, personally.
Yeah.
I think Giannis has more of an impact on that Bucks team than Harden would. But obviously, we saw Harden without CP and Capella.
Yeah.
And he was still carrying the Rockets. I think that little stretch right there, because they started off so poorly, and Harden for that long carried his team to wins. Like, I know what you mean about him dropping 50 or 28 when it's a healthy team, but when he's the only viable offensive option and he's carrying the wins, man, that's impressive.
That was the only time where I defended him for his play style, because people were saying, "Oh, like, you gotta move the ball, you gotta let us shoot." But like, they had nobody. They didn't even have another ball handler.
And we're like, Giannis and the Bucks, like, they did a really good job of surrounding Budenholzer and Giannis with good, solid pros that even if Giannis takes a night out, you still see it. Milwaukee's still one of the best defensive teams, and So, I mean, they did lose Mirotic and Brogdon, which really sucks. But I think Brogdon, how long is Brogdon out for, right? He might be back?
How long is Mirotic out for? He's been hurt all season.
He was out for like a month, too, when he got hurt. So maybe they'll both come back late in the playoffs, but... Yeah, but this will be I think it'll be so close. I think it'll be very split. But my prediction is I think because Milwaukee has literally been the best team all season, I think the voters will lean towards Giannis. But I think it'll be close. I think it'll be like 65-35 in terms of first place votes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if it's flopped.
They have the best record in the NBA.
And they're top 3 in offense, top 3 in defense. They're just... It's your team, and we've seen that the voters look at team success to determine, Another close race, though, which has been heating up as of late. Well, people think it's close, but some may say it's not even close. The Rookie of the Year race has been a little bit of intriguing now. It was Luka's award wrapped up early on this season. He was dominating the league, dropping triple-doubles, just ankle-breaking people, winning games by himself. Trae Young, though, Ice Trae has been on fire lately, man, dropping 48 or 49, whatever he did in that quadruple overtime game with the Bulls. I'll just let me read you some stats real quick. Luka right now is averaging 21 a game on 42% from the field, 32% from 3, 70% from the line. Trae is averaging 19 a game, 42% from the field, 34% from 3, 82% from the free throw line. I gotta say, man, I might be leaning towards Trae in this race.
Really?
I think you might disagree, but let me give you one statistic that when I saw it, I said, "Holy shit, Trae Young might be Rookie of the Year." Guess who is second in assists per game this season?
I'm guessing it's the man himself.
Trae Young is second in the league in assists per game.
Yeah.
Only behind Mr. Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry. This is my bad. He's 5th, but in total assists, he's second in the league in total assists. Assists per game, he's 5th, but still, second in the entire league? Yeah. He has more total assists than Ben Simmons, than Jokic, than Kyle Lowry, than D'Lo, than James Harden, than Fox. I mean, this man can drop dimes.
Oh, for sure.
And what's Luka averaging? About 4 assists a game, maybe?
He's averaging, I think, about 5.
So, man, when I saw that, I gotta give him all the credit in the world. His passing is super underrated. I know it's probably still going to be Luka's award just because of the way he started, and he's the key to that team, and yada 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 and all this. But man, I think it's gonna be close, and it would not surprise me if Trae barely won.
Would you like my opinion now?
I know you're holding your tongue. Give it to me.
All right. Well, first of all, Rookie of the Year it's called Rookie of the Year for a reason.
Yes.
It's about a whole body of work.
Exactly.
And now I do agree that you could make an argument right now that Trae Young might be a better player than Luka Doncic right now. He might be playing like a better player. But in terms of just a full body of work, Luka's had a better year. Well, he's been more consistent. He's been a more complete player.
I understand what you're saying, but I think right now, a case could be made for the opposite.
How so?
I think Luka, no doubt, is the better player right now. But I think this last stretch of the season that Trae has had, I think there's an argument that Trae has had the better season.
Now,
But
keep in
Luka's
mind,
definitively the better player and is going to be a star in the league, you know? So will Trae.
like very low key though, as Trey's been going off this season during that stretch. Luka's been putting up like 3 straight triple doubles. Like
Luka has been hit because he heard the murmurs, man.
yeah, people are just used to it now, so they don't react the same. But he's still been putting up numbers the whole year.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you can't go wrong with either one. They're both going to be faces of the league, and it's crazy seeing these two guys go at it. It's like a European LeBron and like a new age Steph, just like getting back into the league.
It's great. I love it so much. If I would have told, if me and you, we went to the actual NBA draft, on that car ride home, if I was like, yo, the rookie of the year is going to be between Luka and Trae, I mean, you would have sounded a little crazy at the time,
everyone thought Ayton had that locked up.
Yeah, everybody thought Ayton, Kevin Knox going to be the dark horse, or who's the other guy that went, Marvin Bagley, of course, but then there was the other side of people that there were a lot of people that saying there's no question Luka should have gone number 1. No doubt.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Phoenix might be like, shit, man.
Yeah.
Because that coach, doesn't he know him?
Yeah.
That coach.
So he's
probably, what the heck, man? We should have got this guy.
Yeah.
So either way, I think it'll be really impressive. Man, when I saw that stat, I was like, how he's second in total assists. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mix up that stat. Assists per game, he's 5th in the league, but total assists on the year, he's 2nd?
Yeah.
He's already a top 5 passer in the game. That's crazy to me, but we'll stick with the end of season awards as we've been going. We talked a little bit about Coach of the Year, MVP, Rookie of the Year. 2 more races that are pretty interesting. There's obviously definitive options for both, but 6th man and Most Improved. We'll start with 6th man. It's going to be Lou Will. He's going to win the award. If it's not Lou Will, who would you give it to? Some names that I saw, obviously his teammate Harrell.
Yeah.
Spencer Dinwiddie he obviously has been healthy the whole year, but Spencer Dinwiddie's been a great 6th man. Schroeder's been a great 6th man. And Sabonis on Indiana has been a very good 6th man. Those would probably be my candidates besides Lou Will, but Lou Will's going to win it. So
I've also heard D Wade's name thrown in there. Pretty funny.
I did hear that, but then he tweeted out, he's like, "Nah, man, that's Lou Will's award."
Let's be real here. Lou Will's got that locked up.
He's got that locked up. He is a microwave when it comes to scoring, bro. That dude can cook it up real fast.
Bench goat. Him and Jamal.
Most points off the bench ever, man. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean that's a pretty wrapped up award. But who would you like to see it if it wasn't Lou Will? Who would you like to see get it? D Wade? I mean,
hey, that would be kind of awesome. But honestly,
he's averaging 15 off the bench.
Yeah,
not bad, man.
No, not at all. I honestly think the second best would be his teammate Harrell.
Yeah,
Harrell's been having a career season too.
Yeah,
he's been going off every game. I think they should have started him the whole year, but
oh yeah, me too.
Clearly, Doc knows his role better than I do. So I've been very impressed by him.
Doc's got just that team. He just knows how that team clicks, which I love. I think important too with Doc is he's got a good staff around him. He's able to coach. But then the Most Improved player is a little bit more kind of controversial, should I say, debatable. A lot of people have been saying Pascal Siakam is the clear front runner to win that. I got a little bit. This graphic I pulled up, I don't even know where the heck I found this. Is on NBA.com. It shows you last year and this season points, rebound, assists, and the difference. And then they kind of gave it like a ranking system of who had the biggest difference in terms of total points, rebound, assists. You will not believe the name at the top of its list who had the biggest, by this formula standards, biggest improvement. Take a wild guess.
All right.
He's in the East.
He's in the East. I think I might know.
Lay it on me.
That boy D'Lo?
No, but he's a very good candidate. Jetty.
Jetty Osman.
Jetty last year averaged 4 points, 2 boards, and barely an assist. This season he's averaging 13, 5, and 3. So with that formula, he's had technically the biggest improvement. Siakam is there at 3rd. You got John Collins there. He's a name that's been brought around. De'Aaron Fox, Paul George. But man, you know who I might go with?
Who?
D Rose, man.
D Rose.
I think I might give it to him.
Huh.
Last year, he was averaging 8-1-1. Obviously, he might have missed a lot of games with injury, whatever. This season, though, he's averaging 18-2-4.
Yep.
Like, the man flipped a
Dropped it.
switch. He's a completely different player this year. Yeah, give me your thoughts.
I think it's a two-man race right now. I think it's between Siakam and D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
I
See, the
think
thing with D'Angelo's case, though, is that he kind of had similar numbers last year, just a little bit better, obviously. And he's an
yeah,
all-star. So it's like
more
most improved.
more efficient numbers this year though.
Yeah.
And just as a player overall, I feel like he's just doing more on the court.
Yeah.
Like statistical jumps, like I don't know.
But that's what the
Obviously,
award is, kind of?
yeah. It's most improved player though. It's not, biggest difference in stats. You know
That's
what I mean?
true. That's true. And this article with the graph and everything in it, they said that even though Giannis and PG might have not had the biggest statistical jump, there's a case for both of them
Yeah.
to win most improved player, even though both of them have won it before.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah. And shout out my boy Damian Dotson. He made the list.
True.
He made a big improvement. Playing Jake Layman too, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a pretty interesting. Your boy Malik Beasley too he's an impressive year. He's definitely a candidate up there. So yeah, I mean, besides sixth man of the year, which is obviously Lou Will's award, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved,
Coach of the
they'll
year.
be close, and Coach of the Year, they'll be close.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to see how those wrap up.
Me too.
We'll transition to this. I sent you a list. Actually, I only sent you my bottom 5 of the list.
Mm-hmm.
But me and you, we both go back and forth, and we always hate when the media says two-way player.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously like defense and offense. That's what people like to point out. But
Right.
obviously, if you're on a team that needs you to be more reliant on your offense than your defense, you're not going to put as much effort, or should I say, into the other side of the ball when your team needs 110% of you on offense, like Mr. LeBron James.
Right.
That being said, I drafted up my top 10 two-way players, meaning offense, defense, who's the best when you put them both together.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the best on the defensive side of the ball and who can score on the side of the ball at high levels.
Right.
LeBron did not make my top 10 list. Is that okay with you?
No, but you can.
All right. Fair enough. I'm going to go with my 10 through 5 real quick, and then you can give me your 10 through 5, and then we'll do our top 5s.
Okay.
Coming in at number 10 for me, I have Embiid.
Okay.
Then I got KD,
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
Oladipo when healthy. This is all when healthy, obviously.
Wow. Okay.
At 6, I got Westbrook.
Mm.
Now, obviously, his offense has been hit or miss. Still averaging what, like 24 a game, 22 a game?
Yeah, 22.
having a bad year, whatever. Oladipo when healthy, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And turns around and can average 24 a game.
Yep.
Same with Jimmy Buckets. If he was on a team by himself, there's no question to me that he could probably put up 30 on any given night, and is one of the best perimeter defenders. And then my 9 and 10 guys, I had a little bit trouble. I knew I was going to put KD in at 9. He's shown that he can be a very good defender, especially in the playoffs. He was very, very good in the finals, blocking shots, blocking jump shots, which is hard to do.
I guess.
He struggles in the post, but in terms of scoring the rock and on the other end, man, there's few that can do it like KD.
Yep, that's true.
And then 10, 10 was kind of a wild card for me. It could have been a lot of players. I probably could have put LeBron in at 10, but I decided with Embiid because there's nobody that can guard that man on offense. And then in terms of defense, he's going to be a problem down low. He's going to be a load to push out. Not the best defender, but maybe I could have put in Draymond, but I hate him, so screw him. But that's my 10 through 6. I'll give you my top 5 after, but are we similar, or do you have completely different 10 through 6?
It's a little different. I think our top 5 is going to be a little more different. Actually, not that much different, but I'll just give you my 10 through 6.
Give me.
So,
lay it on me.
At number 10, I have Kevin Durant, the snake himself. At 9,
No chill, the snake himself.
At 9, I have Klay Thompson.
Interesting. Okay.
8, I have my boy Russ.
Yep.
At 7, I have the Kang, LeBron James.
7. Okay. All right. I don't feel as bad that you got him at 7.
At 6, this is going to surprise you a little bit. James Harden.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
That's right.
Give me all right. So lay down your arguments for
All right.
at
Well,
least for Hart.
I'll start from the bottom up.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Durant, I agree with you. He's shown his ability to play defense, and
Yeah.
obviously he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. However, not really the best playmaker. It's kind of been one of the flaws in his game that I've always kind of harped on. He's definitely improved it since being on the Warriors, but let's be honest, I feel like most people could play make on the Warriors.
Let me hold on. Let me pause real quick. My apologies. So I can tell you're relying in terms of the two-way. You're attributing playmaking as a part of the offense, a big
Of
portion.
course. It's
Okay.
offense.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves with the media, but I'll continue.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Then we have Clay. Obviously, he's just like your cut and mold two-way player. Great defender, great slot offensive player. You could just put him in anywhere on the court. He'll do his job. Super efficient. I think that's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Westbrook, I think he's one of the most underrated defenders in the league.
No doubt.
Great one-on-one defender, especially on guards. Super physical.
Super strong.
On steals. Yeah, he's top 3 in steals, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And then offensively, again, I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for being, first of all, leading the league in assists for like 2 years in a row, maybe 3. Dangerous scorer, definitely streaky scorer. You wish he would stick to his bread and butter, just attacking the rim, but obviously he's going to have his downfalls.
And teams take that away, yeah.
Yeah, no. Then next, the Kang.
Kang.
Obviously, defense has faltered a little bit. I think that's just regular season. I don't think his defense has ever been bad in the playoffs. And then offensively, I still think he's the most commanding presence on the offense. Similar to defense, where he can still, like we've talked about, he can play safety, kind of deflections and steals and whatnot.
Yeah, rover.
And he's still a threat to get that chase down block.
Oh, of course. That's true. Yeah.
And then finally, the wild card, Harden. First of all, offensively, he's probably the best.
Probably best in the league.
Probably in the league. Defensively, I gotta give him credit. He has had one of the biggest improvements I've seen.
He's been working. He's been working.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's averaging 2 steals this season, which is in the top 5 for steals.
And that's all I need.
Yeah, that's really all I need to see as a defender. So as long as he's playing average defense, I think he's better than those players before him just for his offensive ability. Yeah. Obviously, it's not including leadership and all that stuff. That's excluded. But yeah. That's my bottom 5.
Gotcha. All right, and then just continue with your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right. So at number 5, I got Paul George.
Okay.
Then above him, I got the Claw, Kawhi.
Okay, at 4, yeah.
Then above him, I have Anthony Davis.
Okay.
Above Anthony Davis, this one might shock you a little bit. I have Embiid.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you put him high up there.
And then above him, I have Giannis.
Gotcha.
Which I think will be kind of similar. All right. So PG. Again, I feel like he's kind of like a Klay Thompson-esque player, at least how he's playing now. But that can create his own offense. I think that's the difference. He can still lock people up on defense. Probably top 2 one-on-one defenders in the league. Super long, super strong, great offensive player. Kawhi, again, probably the best perimeter defender in the league, and has really refined his offensive game. He's a great shooter.
Yeah,
he's got a great mid-range game. He's been working with Kobe on that. Again, playmaking could be improved, but his defense is one of the most impactful in the league. I remember before he got hurt by my least favorite player of all time, Zaza Pachulia, single-handedly clamping that Warriors team.
Oh, they were dominating. Yeah, we don't need to go into that.
Next, AD. I think AD, if they didn't minute cap him or if he was on a more relevant team, I think he has the potential to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He's one of the most, if not the best, perimeter or rim protector in the league. And then offensively, he's just a Swiss Army knife. He can do everything.
Does it all. Yeah.
Shoot. He can drive. He can dribble.
Post up. Yeah.
Crazy with that. He's a great post up player.
Yeah.
Embiid. Now, I feel like people underrate his defense.
He's just big.
He's big, but he's a great rim protector.
Yeah.
He's a great post defender. Obviously, he has some lapses due to his size, perimeter
he fouls
defense,
a lot.
But he does foul a lot, but most big men do.
Yeah.
And offensively, like he said himself, he's one of the most unstoppable forces. He's
Yeah,
probably
no
right
doubt.
up there with Anthony Davis, where he could shoot the three. I don't think anyone can guard him in the post. I'm trying to think of people, maybe Rudy Gobert or like Whiteside, just humongous
Boogie.
people. And not Boogie can't guard him. But yeah, just the fact that he's so unstoppable on offense and
Yeah.
still
That's why I
one of
had
the
to slide
best,
him in. Yeah.
yeah, one of the best defenders on defense. I'm giving him up there.
Yeah.
And then obviously Giannis. You honestly can make a case for him being Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably the most versatile defender. He can guard 1 through 5 to a T. He can probably lock up any position on the court. Offensively, he's one of the most versatile players I've ever seen. He's a 6'11" ball handling, dunking machine that I've
Yeah.
just never
Yeah.
seen a player
A
like that.
freak. A freak.
Yeah. And I
Needless
don't
to say.
know. It's so crazy to me that you put a smaller defender on him, he's taking him to the rim, he's dunking on him.
Oh,
You put
it's
a
too
big
easy.
defender on him,
He's
he's doing
blown by him.
he could probably still bully him. That's the thing. So yeah, that's my top 5.
Yeah, nobody has improved their body more than Giannis has
Absolutely.
in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe besides, like, I'm trying to think. I don't know, LeBron. Like, just in terms of taking care of your body, it's
I
probably
heard
been LeBron.
I heard Nick Wright say he has the body type of Durant, but like an extra 45 pounds.
Of straight muscle.
Pure
Like,
muscle. Yeah.
all right, so my top 5 very similar to yours. A little bit discrepancy in terms of order.
Okay.
At 5, I got my boy Clay coming in at 5.
Okay.
4, I got AD.
Mm-hmm.
3, I got Giannis. I'll
Okay.
explain. 2, I got the Claw, and 1, I got PG. Now,
Okay.
I'll start at 5. I was watching Clay the other night. I want to say they were playing the Rockets, I want to say, and he was guarding Harden. This was a while ago. But every possession, Clay guards the other team's best player, obviously depending on matchups. But Clay on every possession, back and forth, he is running off screens, trying to free up his game in terms of his offensive game. When he catches and shoot, I don't think there's anybody in the league that I want to catch and shoot a 3 other than Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
I think he's the best catch and shoot shooter maybe of all time, but that's separate. So that elevates for me. Then what he does on defense on the other side, he's a great perimeter defender. Not necessarily getting in passing lanes and stealing, but he will clamp up people on the perimeter. You are not getting by him. His lateral quickness is too big. He's a great size. He's good speed. So I got him there at 5. AD, like you said, everything. Great rim protector. Pretty versatile in terms of being a perimeter defender. He's really been trying to be that stretch 5, trying to match up to anybody that they put on him. And he's just a freak on offense. Like you said, he can do it all.
Yeah.
My top 3, I had some trouble with. And now the only reason I have Giannis at 3 below Kawhi and PG is because I don't think Giannis's offensive game is as refined as both of them. And I know you could probably argue that it's not, and he could probably score on anybody in the league. But I think PG and Kawhi, they got that outside jumper. They're able to kind of create a little more offense, pulling up jumpers and stuff. Their defense, all 3 of their defenses, man, is like, it's like you could cut. It's so cut and close. Like, it wouldn't even matter what position I put in.
Yeah.
I just thought the year that PG is having and the way that he plays defense, I would say he's the best two-way player in the league right now. Obviously, anybody can make an opinion about LeBron or Kawhi or Giannis. Same with Kawhi, one of the best perimeter defenders, but like you said, has elevated his offense to the next level. I have Giannis right in the middle because he's a great defender. Doesn't get a ton of steals, but he blocks the crap out of people, which you love to see on defense. And on offense, there's not many guys that can stop him. Maybe Embiid is the one dude that might be able to stop Giannis. He might be a good guard for him, you know?
The other thing, though, with Giannis that people forget about is his playmaking. Very, very advanced playmaker for his site.
That is true. Budenholzer has kind of put the offense around him, and he's out. He knows when he's got to take it to the rim, post somebody up, or create plays for Middleton or Bledsoe. So, all right, yeah, I like that. That's a very interesting list that we both have. A lot of similar players. You know, the positions are all skewed, but either way, the term two-way player needs to be, you know, let's chill out, media. Two-way player. Know what it means, okay?
Only two parts of basketball.
Don't think LeBron taking a possession or two off against the freaking, whoever, the Sacramento Kings, is gonna not make him a top two-way player. I probably should have had him on my list, but I just was like, you know what? I'm sticking with the young guns right now.
Right.
But let's shift east. We talked a little about the West a little bit. We'll make this quick because we're going a lot on time here, and I want to get to a little bit of March Madness with you. But very, very close race out east for the playoffs. You got Brooklyn, Detroit, and Orlando right now in the 6, 7, 8 game spot.
Mm-hmm.
But a half a game and a game behind the Magic for the 8th spot is the Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets have won 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
The Magic are on fire. They've run 6 in a row. Any chance the Heat can sneak in? What are you thinking?
I think
Detroit, by the way, is on the down too. They've lost 3 in a row. They're not playing well.
I would like to see the Nets, Pistons, and Hornets in it, just for the fact that they at least have the star power to keep up with the other teams in the East. Maybe not the Nets as much, but they're gelling so much, and I want to see D'Angelo play in the playoffs. But Detroit, I think they have an interesting composition of players, with their 2 best players being the 4 and 5 with Griffin and Drummond.
Yeah.
And then I have to see Cardiac Kemba in the playoffs compared to the Heat. I know they got D-Wade, that'd be kind of cool, but they just don't have anything exciting.
I want the Magic to stay in there, man. I like their team a lot.
Yeah, the Magic.
I think if anybody, I wouldn't mind if Detroit dipped out and maybe Miami got in, and it was like D-Wade's kind of last hurrah. I don't know. That could be kind of interesting.
Another
the Hornets
D-Wade
are on fire. I wouldn't mind if they got in. I'm just worried that if the Hornets got in, they'd probably play Milwaukee and it wouldn't even be a series. Kemba would put up 45 and they'd lose by 20 or something.
I don't think any of those teams are gonna give Milwaukee a series.
By the way, this is an early shout out. We'll do shout outs at the end. But early shout out to Jeremy Lamb for one of the most insane buzzer beaters I have ever seen, bro.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Did you see Kemba's reaction? He was like, oh my gosh.
I would have reacted the same way.
And then he was like, oh shit, let's go, boy. That was absurd, dude. He hucked that from behind the line, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raptors players, they looked up, and I could tell Lowry was under the basket, and he starts leaning. He's like, oh no. And it banks in, and he's like, you gotta be kidding me, bro.
It looked good right off his hands.
That was crazy, dude. I don't think I've if Gordon Hayward hits that buzzer beater against Duke, I'd say that is the best one. But in terms of buzzer beaters I've ever seen, man, that's up there. Maybe LeBron's spinning fadeaway banking 3 against the Wizards that one time is up there, right?
Yeah, no, that's
that's absurd. But so shout out to Jay Lamb, man. Good for you, bro. That's a great shot to have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, should be interesting to see what happens out east. The bottom of the East, it's not going to matter. They're going to play Milwaukee, Toronto, and Philly probably, and whoever plays them.
Absolutely.
Whoever plays Brooklyn, I think will be a tough game. But the other teams, maybe if Orlando's playing well, they can give Milwaukee some trouble. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But it is still March. The Sweet 16 kicks off tomorrow night, man. Not like we said, not a lot of madness. A lot of the top teams are coming to play. The only team that's higher than a 5 seed is Oregon left. They're 12 seed. But a lot of talent on display in terms of who's going to be in this year's draft. I got a couple names, and I want to do pro player comparisons, give the people what they want.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with the definitive man, number 1 overall pick going to the New York Knicks, Zion Williamson. This dude's a freak in nature. He's listed at 6'6", 280. I don't know. He could be shorter and could be heavier. Nobody knows. He could be 290. My pro player comparison, I got a splash of 3 different players. I got a splash of Blake Griffin. I got a splash of Draymond. And I got a splash of LeBron.
Okay.
I think his athleticism speaks for itself, kind of like Blake Griffin. His body type, playmaking ability, and defense, Draymond. And then the same thing in terms of otherworldly talent that could elevate the NBA when this man retires. I think there's a little bit of sprinkle LeBron James in there, obviously with the tomahawk dunks and whatnot. How do you feel about these comparisons? And give me yours.
I like those comparisons. I didn't even really think about the defensive impact he has, but that's one of the most underrated parts of his game for sure.
And Draymond doesn't block shots like Zion does, and
Nah.
don't get twisted. I think just
But
his defensive instincts. Yeah.
I would compare. I did three players as well. I did a splash of Shaq, a splash of Young Barkley,
Yes, I've heard
and
that. Yeah.
and of course a splash of LeBron. I think honestly the play style he has right now kind of seems like a modern day Shaq to me. Like obviously he has his little outside shot that he's been working on. It doesn't look great, but
Shot put
he's
shot.
he's,
Yeah.
he's working on it. It's decent
It's
form.
falling sometimes.
Just
Yeah.
a little
It's got to
tweak.
work on the free throws.
Yeah.
Got to work.
But just the way he attacks the rim with such just ferocity.
Yeah.
And like I just especially his size, the weight that he has is similar to Shaq where he would go up and get your body and just move you out of the way and then bang on you.
Mm. Mm.
In terms of play style, I think it's very similar to Barkley, kind
Yeah.
of like a point forward who could
Short
overpower
power
people.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Still could play make a little bit too. Similar defense and rebounding, of course. And then,
Yeah.
of course, just the unlimited upside of a LeBron-esque talent where it's just such a unique combination of physical features, just like a 6'6", 280 with a 40-inch vert.
It's insane.
It's just saying it is insane. But yeah, he's going to be exciting to watch on the Knicks.
Please, God. We'll stick with the Duke tradition here. We'll go RJ and Cam together. RJ, I was watching a little bit of tape. It was kind of hard for me to find a good comparison. To me, I see a lot of D Wade in his game. I think he's got a really good mid-range game. He loves attacking the rim. He's a southpaw, so he likes going left a lot and spinning around to his right. He's got a good strong right hand, can knock down the mid-range jumper. The three is there, but I don't think it's going to be consistent right out of the gate in the NBA. Obviously, rookies, it takes them a little bit to adjust to that extra, you know, extra distance behind the arc for the three-point shot. So yeah, I struggled with his comparison, but I think young D Wade is a good comparison. And then with Cam, I've been up and down on Cam Reddish all year. Sometimes he's just a shooter and sits in the corner, and other times I see glimpses of being a franchise player in this league.
Yeah.
It was tough for me for Cam. For me, his body type and the way he shoots, I could compare him to like a young Clay. I think if he can work on his defense and become a knockdown three shooter, you could be elite 3-and-D like Clay. But if you don't want to, if you're not going to be the best 3-point shooter, which he'll have games where he's like 1 for 8 from the three, and I'm like, dude, drive the ball. I kind of could compare him to he's a little bit more athletic than like a Middleton. I don't know. I might be reaching for that, but I feel like he'll be just a knockdown shooter. Struggle maybe with his size and speed, but man, I look at him and he's got these broad shoulders. Like, I hope if he gets with whoever in the NBA draft, I see a mock draft. They got him going 8th right now, which is kind of upsetting. But if he goes to Chicago or Atlanta or something and he works on his body, he's got a lot of potential. But if he's just going to kind of stay like the lenient, skinny guy he is right now, I don't know. I'm struggling for a comparison. What do you feel about both these Dookie boys?
So I'll start with RJ.
Yeah.
I also had the comparison of D Wade, but with a little bit of another player. I splashed in there, a little Penny Hardaway. I think he's a little more guard oriented. Similar ways that he drives
more of a playmaker
basket.
than D Wade for sure.
Yeah. And he just has very skilled moves to the basket.
Yeah.
Just a relentless scorer. He'll be great in the NBA. Obviously, I think his shot needs a little time to adjust, but most players do. Cam, I've been saying this comparison for a while. I don't think you agree with it as much, but I will find it a little bit. I think he compares to how PG is playing now. It's similar play style.
Okay,
he
I
has
can
the
see
potential. He's long.
And
he's got a great jump
it's funny
shot.
you said that. I'm sorry. The next player that I'm going to talk about, I compared to PG, so I want to hear your input. But go ahead, keep going about Cam. My bad.
But just the fact that he's such a good shooter, and one of the biggest things I think people forget, or not even forget, just kind of overlook, is you can't really teach form. You know what I mean? Like you can refine.
You can tweak it a little bit around.
Right, but pure shooting form, like you can't teach players Klay Thompson shooting form.
Of course
That's
not.
just innate. That's
You can use it as a reference, but you'll never be able to shoot it like him.
Exactly. Just the base that he has of his jump shot. He's a very balanced shooter. The upside of his body and the physical aspects of him, I think he'll be a good NBA player. I think the Bulls would be a great fit for him, honestly. But
Yeah, I think the Bulls, even Phoenix, even Atlanta. I think any number of those, surrounded by shooters, I think would be a great fit. I'm hoping for the best for Cam. Hopefully he steps up this Sweet 16. They're going to need to against Virginia Tech. Going to be a tough game.
yeah.
Um, Final Four, maybe he can go off in the Final Four, elevate his draft stock. But yeah, I'm looking at a mock draft and it's got him 8th to the Wizards right now. So that's crazy. But the guy that we're talking about next, who I compared to like a young PG, who I kind of see his on defense at least. For defense and like his frame, Jarrett Culver
Mm-hmm.
from Texas Tech.
That's what I thought.
6'6", long, kind of skinny, very good defensively. But I've also read a couple scouting reports that he's a little bit lackluster sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't knock his defense. They say he's still very elite. Whenever I see him shoot, I'm just not. He shoots with so much arc, and whenever I see a player shooting with an overabundance of arc, I feel like they're not as confident in their jump shot.
Yeah.
So I compared him defensively to PG. He's a young PG coming right out of Fresno. Offensively, I hate to use this for Jarrett Culver, but his offense, when I watched him on tape, he just looks a little bit like Batum, like Jeremy Lambish, bro. Like we just talked about him, but like he's just long and has a couple moves, but he's not very confident shooting the ball.
Yeah.
He pulls up a lot from mid, fading with a high arcing jumper. So that was my comparison. It's tough. He's got so much potential, nice and long, but the offense is not going to be there his rookie year.
Yeah.
Do you have a similar one or?
Yeah. So my comparison.
He was a tough one too.
It was pretty similar. Another two-way guy. I compared him to Jimmy. I think he's kind of similar to how Jimmy was coming out of Marquette. Like you could tell he has a motor when he wants. He has all the physical qualities. He's a good long defender when he wants to be. And his offensive game is there. He still gets to the basket, but it's more out of effort and less out of like refined moves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you'll watch him shots over players and just kind of bodying his way to the basket. Does a lot of slashing. Yeah. So I think he's pretty similar to Jimmy in that way and has kind of similar potential to that.
Yeah. The boy, Ja Morant, who put on a show in the first round of the tournament. Obviously, Florida State was a tough game. That was never going to be easy once they got the scouting report on young Ja. But this was a tough comparison for me. I got a couple players I'm spicing in with him. I see a lot of Dame Dollar in his offensive game with a little bit of athleticism of Russ. The way he finishes those layups, man, it's like identical with Russ when he finishes those long layups. And then he's got like a little bit, I don't know, he's just a great passer. I don't know, I'm trying to compare it to like a great passer. I could say like CP3 passing, but that's just a little, ludicrous. But
I'm to be perfectly honest, I wrote down those 3 exact same names.
Let's go. Like, it's crazy. Like his offensive game is so smooth like Dame, but yet he's a freaking athlete at the rim like Russ. Mm-hmm. And I told you, I was watching that freaking first round game, bro. He was dropping dimes, like pocket passes left and right. I'm glad we agree on that. That's so funny. But
yeah, I can't honestly. The most impressive part of that entire game to me was his passing. Like the first game especially.
He made it look so effortless.
Mm-hmm. Their game plan was, we're going to throw everybody at him, and we're going to make other people beat us. And not only did he make the right play, he saw it coming every time and knew where the open guy was.
Which is what exactly you love to see from a raw, did not realize he's a sophomore, raw player like him, young.
Yeah, and he can pass with both hands across his body. That's NBA-type passing. Yeah, I was just extremely impressed by him. I think he goes probably 2.
You taking him too? Yeah, if you're Phoenix?
I feel like I have
Phoenix or Cleveland? Yeah. Yeah. We'll keep going. We'll talk about 2 point guards that have been pretty impressive lately. I want to start with a guy from Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
This man, Carson Edwards, has been showing out in the tournament, and I have 3 words written down, and I know you'll probably agree with me, and I've seen on TV they talk about it. Kemba.
That's what I wrote.
Right? He has got that cardiac Kemba, like small guy, break you down and hit a shot in your face type of New York swag, which I love. Mock drafts got him going late in the second. I think he's going to go late in the first, maybe even like right after the lottery. I think he'll be a sleeper in the draft.
I think
if he goes on a run, maybe takes Purdue to the Final Four. I've watched him all year, man. This dude's a bucket. So you agree with the Kemba?
Absolutely. One of the most Kemba-esque players I've seen in a while, but The other thing, he's very underrated finisher at the rim too. Very smooth,
Yeah,
pretty super athletic too.
kind of
A
like
little more
Kyrie-esque, or
built up, yeah, Kyrie-esque type finishing. He's
Mhm.
pretty NBA ready body. Yeah, I love him. He dropped 42 the other game on
Yeah.
Villanova. Absolutely dismantled them. But yeah,
Yeah, he looked good on against Villanova. Um, Next point guard. I don't know why I had written on our rundown Kobe Smith. I don't know why that name was in my head. It's
I,
Kobe White.
yeah,
My
I know.
bad. But point guard at UNC freshman. I struggle with this comparison, but I see kind of young Rondo
Okay.
for him. I think he's super quick laterally, very good passer. Obviously, he's got a better jumper than Rondo, but it's not like confident his three yet. I still think he might struggle at the next level shooting the ball. But yeah, I just see his body type, his quickness on defense. I got young Rondo. I struggled with this comparison. What do you
I,
have?
I think I have a pretty good comparison for him. I see a lot of Michael Conley in him.
Ooh,
I like
I
that.
like that.
And
I like that a lot,
I
actually.
splashed in a little bit of I didn't want to use this as this only comparison. I put a little Sexton in there. Just
Yes,
I feel like they're
yes.
similar
I was.
games.
Yes, I completely agree. Yeah.
Better shooter than Sexton was, but similar way
But
like
man,
speed.
Sexton
Oh
been
yeah.
playing well lately. Sorry, shout out
Balling.
to him, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, absolutely. But yeah, I
yeah.
think he'll be a good guard in the NBA. He has good playmaking. He's a good defender. That was one of the biggest things that surprised me. Like he can
Yep.
block people, gets his hand in passing lanes.
Quick
Very
hands.
yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a
That
place for him on an NBA team.
that boy fast, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Then we'll go with two of the last guys that have kind of been on under the radar prospects, in my opinion. One's been playing out on West Coast, so you never see him on TV except against when he went head to head against Zion, which they beat Duke, by the way, the Gonzagas. Rui Hachimura.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, man, is a athlete, and I think he's gonna be very. I think he's been a very good NBA player. He's got all the tools. He can shoot the ball. I compare him directly to John Collins. I know he's maybe not as athletic as John Collins, because John Collins is kind of a freak athlete, but Hachimura, 6'8", can get up, rebounds the ball very well, good pick and roll player, finishes at the rim, can guard in the post. I like the John Collins comparison. You like his game, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I'm a huge Hachimura fan.
yeah.
I think he should go in the lottery, pretty
Mm-hmm.
high up there. Maybe
They got
even
this mock draft's got him going 4.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'd take
that
him
might be
top
a little.
seven.
Yeah, that might be a
I'd
little
probably
high, but
take
yeah,
top four. Yeah, it's a little much, but
yeah,
we'll see how he does the rest of the tournament. But
yep.
I struggled with this comparison a little bit just because he's a very unique player. But I compared him to like an amped up PJ Tucker. That's kind of how I compared him because
Okay, yeah,
he played real good defense on Duke when especially on Zion,
yes,
probably guarded him better than anyone I'd seen. Just a
yep,
strong defender, really refined, much more of a refined offensive game than PJ Tucker. I just see similar body types,
yeah.
similar defensive
Little
game.
more,
I'd say
little more athletic than
much
PJ.
more athletic than
Yeah,
PJ, but I'd say PJ with a better athletic body and a better offensive game. That's kind of how I see it.
yeah. All right, and then we'll shift. This will be the last guy we talk about, who's been arguably a top. He's been shifting. Sometimes he's a top 3 pick. Some other times he's like barely top 10 pick. DeAndre Hunter at a UVA.
Hmm.
Very good two-way player, can shoot the ball. Good playmaker too, underrated, but in that Virginia system, they share the ball a lot.
Hmm.
I watched a little bit of tape, and I see young Kawhi in him.
Hmm.
He's very strong upper body.
Hmm.
Reminds me of when Kawhi first came out. You saw how broad Kawhi's shoulders were, but you're like, you can tell he's young. He needs to put a little bit of weight on. He's a little bit shorter and not as long as Kawhi, so I'd say he's more like a 2 guard in the NBA, DeAndre Hunter.
Hmm.
But he's still 6'7", can guard multiple positions. He's thick, that he can guard a 4 underneath. Yeah, this was a tough comparison for me. It could have gone either way. I saw some people in the comments section reminds them of the young Paul George, and so there's a bunch of different comparisons. But the way he shoots and his kind of dribble moves, they really remind me just like fundamental. I'm gonna cross you, step back, little elbow jumper, like right over you, and that's how
Yeah.
I saw DeAndre Hunter.
The comparison I put for him was Ariza.
That's
Um,
good. Yeah, that's good.
I think he's very similar to Michael Bridges of last year.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna say the same thing now that I said for Bridges last year. I'm not that impressed. I'm gonna be honest.
really.
I don't know.
Michael Bridges
I
has been
feel
playing
like
better in the NBA though.
he has been,
Yeah.
which I said the same thing about Michael Bridges, and he's been doing pretty good in the NBA. So I feel like it's hard for me to predict players like this because I feel like you can get those two-way players that can play D and shoot. You can get them from anywhere.
That
Like
is very
Kyle
true.
Kuzma is a pretty good example where he came out of nowhere from college and you just gave him a three-point shot, automatically he's a better player. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I'm not huge on him. I still think he could be a good NBA player. But yeah, we'll see. But before we move on,
Yeah.
I did see you pencil in someone else that I think is the most underrated prospect in this draft class, and that's Nazir Little.
Really?
I
Okay.
think he is the most underrated player in this draft class, and I think the only reason people underrate him is how he's being played in UNC.
Yeah.
He's just for some reason he's just not getting that much minutes now. Whether that's maybe he's not in the best shape,
Yeah.
or maybe he has some locker room issues. I'm not really sure, but
Do you
just
have some? Do you have a comparison for him?
yes, I have a Kawhi Leonard comparison to him.
Okay. Yeah. No, because
He
he is an athlete. There's no doubt about that.
He first of all, he's a freshman and he has a very developed body. That man is big. He's like 6'7",
Yeah.
built up, and he plays some of the best defense I've seen in college basketball. I saw him put clamps on people in the tournament.
Yeah.
So I think he gets any type of offensive game, kind of similar to Kawhi, where it's just a raw athlete.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is that offensive game. I think he could be a real solid NBA player.
See,
Could
that's
go the other way.
Yeah, that's my worry with him
Could go the other way.
a little
but-
bit is his offensive game. He doesn't show it when he's out
Now,
on the
to be
floor.
fair, though, these last few games in the tournament, he put up 18 and 19. So he's scoring.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how he does in the offseason
Yeah.
or the rest of the tournament.
There's been a huge debate about would it be beneficial for him to get drafted right now in probably the late lottery, or do you stay one more year at UNC and just refine your game, and then maybe next year you're top 5 pick?
I think if you
Or
can
you
get
think
drafted,
you go regardless. I know you've
if you can get drafted in the first round, I'd much rather have an NBA team develop you than a college team. That's just how I feel about that. I feel like just the training
some
staff-
guys are psychological, your first round pick, and then you never produce, and it's just pressure and pressure and pressure. UNC, next year he comes back, he'll probably be the man. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
It's tough. I need to see more of him. I hope, like you said, he steps up. This is a huge game against who they play in Auburn. That'll be a very, very tough game. He's gonna have to play well. Yeah, I labeled him down. Another guy we could talk about, Romeo Langford. He's been in and out. Apparently, this dude out of France, man, Sakou Doumbouya. Apparently,
Is that the big guy?
Apparently, he's a stud, 6'9" power forward out of France. Cameron Johnson out of UNC. Obviously, he's like a senior. He's a good prospect, but again, I feel like he'll be like a Justin Jackson type guy. And then the boy that kind of disappointed me, man, like Kevin Porter Jr., man. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
That dude was in a bucket.
That's a guy that needs another year, I think.
But guess which team is scooping him in this mock draft, which would be perfect.
Who?
Spurs.
Oh man, yeah.
Late in the first round, they just scoop an athlete like that and kind of refine
They
him.
do.
Yeah, so man, I'm excited for the Sweet 16. So yeah, man, damn, we've been talking for like an hour. This has been a great episode, bro. I appreciate you taking the time to talk about all this crap. Is there any we always do a couple shout outs. Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna shout out my man Cat. I didn't get to do it on the last time, so I need to give him credit where credit is due. The last time we talked, I absolutely tore him apart. Maybe a little unwarranted, but I saw so much potential.
Probably so, though. Yeah, of course.
And it just angers me not to see him doing what he's doing now.
You're making the money now. Face the
Give the man
franchise.
credit. Ever since he had that gruesome accident, which thank God he's all right.
Yeah.
He has been putting up monster numbers.
He's been a beast.
Absolutely monster numbers.
Yeah.
So
he's been an absolute beast.
Shout out to him. Finally doing what I knew he could have done. I hope he continues into next season and bring the T-Wolves to the playoffs, please.
Please. Yeah, we need that. Yeah, I'll give shout out to D-Book. Big game. What was that, last night? What did he drop?
59?
59, like a light 59. I think he's about to drop 50 again tonight. I just saw something popped up. He had like 46 with about 4 minutes left in the game. So that if he drops back-to-back 50, special shout out to Wet Like I'm Book, you know?
He got 48 right now, so.
Whew, man.
I could use
Shout
that
out.
early in the fantasy season.
Hey, I'm in the chip though. I gotta try and win this. Another shout out to my boy E. Bledsoe. Great game against the Rockets, man. If he's got to step up and play this playoffs, if they want any chance to make the finals. And then 2 special shout outs to 2 special ankle breakers. One was a little, I don't know. There's some evidence he might have stepped on his foot. Lance will make him dance. Lance Stevenson did put the moves on that boy.
He did.
And I gotta admit, the Lakers bench gets like an A+ for their reaction because I don't know how they didn't get a technical. There's like 4 of them on the court,
and they ran on the court.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
But CP3 absolutely broke DJ Wilson. That boy was in a different area code after he broke him.
That might be the cross of the season.
That was like
Harden's on Wesley Johnson, where
he turned around fully and was like, oh my god. And if CP doesn't knock down that shot, it's probably not a highlight.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it might be a highlight, but not good of a highlight. CP always knocks down the shot if he ankle breaks somebody.
Steph knows about that.
That's what I love about that boy. Ooh, Steph.
Steph knows about that hard.
Yeah. But yeah, man. All right. Well, next time we talk, we'll do a little playoff preview. Maybe by a week or 2, we'll have the defined matchups and end of season awards. And I'm sure we'll find a bunch of crap. I'm sure there'll be more Lakers drama. Who knows?
Of course.
But yeah, all right, man. Until next time.
Of course. We'll see you, man.
Peace. Damn, man, that was good stuff, bro.